Hey everyone. I don't know why I don't have video. Hold on. Maybe that's the right button. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Wow. I'm sorry for starting so late. What time is it? Oh my God, I'm 10 minutes late today, but I appreciate you guys waiting for me. It's been, it's a long night for some reason. I don't know why I've been so tired. Just trying to stay awake every day. But I always look forward to coming to the streams and hanging out with everyone and talking about photography. And of course, I'm always here to answer any questions you might have about Olympus and photography in general. I do my best. Oh, my goodness, my chat window is still not right. Hold on. Let me fix that and we'll get started. See who's here. There we go. There. All right. Oh, David. Hi. Arthur, good to see you. Seraphin's here. Roberto, Dave. Awesome. Peter, good to see you. Let me do one more thing. I need to make this font bigger so I can read it. I'm like squinting to see things. Thomas is here. Good to see you. And 7293. Delay is here. Mike, how are you? Plato, Jeff Painter, Leon, Marcia, good to see you. How is it in Florida these days? Hopefully it's nice and toasty there. It's starting to get cold here. You can see I'm wearing long sleeve shirts and I got t-shirts on now. I hate the winter time. And sorry, a little bit of breakfast. That's gross. I tried to eat a little bit before I started. That's part of the delay. And this is just some kind of breakfast cereal too. I was so hungry when I woke up. Okay, Plato's in Belgium. Really? For some reason I thought you were here in the US. I think it's because of that first thing in your name there, 1957. I always think of the 1957 Chevy. And then when I see Plato, I just ignore that part and I think about that car. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jale. I hope your symptoms are mild and you recover. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay. Hank Jane Koenig. Oh, hello. I've never seen you in here before. That's awesome. And Sam Nazari, good to see you back. Oh, it's been raining for 4 days. Yeah, you guys, this is like hurricane season or something, right? Where it's just always like crazy weather. But when it starts to rain, yeah, it would rain for days and days. That's why I got second thoughts about moving to Florida when I'm like a little bit older or the oldest one in the family. I'm thinking more like Tennessee or North Carolina, that area, South Carolina. Ronald Chambliss, good to see you. That's another new name I haven't seen before. It looks like a lot of new people here this morning. That's awesome. Or at least you haven't commented in the chat section. Or my memory is terrible. One or the other. If you've commented here before, I'm sorry. Serge says, hi Rob, I found an Olympus EM5 with only 560 shots taken with a kit lens for $350. It is a big upgrade. Is it a big upgrade compared to the EM10 Mark II without thinking about weather sealing? No. The only thing it really adds is the articulating screen and mic jack, which is video centric. It adds, I think, in-camera focus stacking, and it also adds high-res shot mode. I don't think it adds really... oh, and it adds tethering capability. And it is better built, particularly the body feels more solid, and the battery door certainly is more solid than on the EM10 Mark II. So it's a slightly, not slightly, but a significantly good build quality over the EM10 Mark II. And I'd say handling and EVF and live view, everything else is pretty much the same. It's very, very similar to the EM10 Mark II. So 350 euros though is a killer deal if you need an EM5 Mark II. But I think if you have an EM10, you don't really need it. I bought mine to kind of replace my EM10 because my EM10 is getting flaky from being dropped so much. Plus, I'm more video centric, but I didn't buy it because there's better image quality or features that I needed over the EM10 Mark II. So, for example, in-camera focus stacking you can do in software. High-res shot mode, you know, you just do that brassiere, whatever method. You know, you take multiple shots and stitch them together and you have a high-res shot mode. You know, there's ways around some of the extra features you get in the EM5, but as far as pure image quality goes, it's virtually identical in every way. They're both 16 megapixels. They both use a TruePic, I think, 7 engine. So other than those couple of small extra features, if you need them. I have a video on that, right? If you see my video on the Mark II series in 2020, it's still the best. Check that video out, and I talk about the comparisons from the EM10 to the EM5 to the EM1, all the Mark IIs, and you know what you get in terms of stepping up in each one. I think Jimmy Chang just did a video. I saw a thumbnail this morning for it where he's comparing the EM10 Mark IV against the EM5 Mark II, I believe. So you might want to check that video out too. That could be interesting. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was running late for the stream, but I think that would be a good video to watch. Brassiere method, yes. Did I pronounce that right? Thomas, I don't know. Brenzier. I got Brassiere on my mind. Brenzier. Oh, let's see. And Peter Brake says, hi Rob, on the OMD EM10 Mark II using the multifunction button too, is it possible to reassign the functions to other functions such as... No, you're limited to what can be assigned to the EM10 Mark II. Let me see if I have... Where is it? You can turn things on and off. Hold on. I should have my box of batteries ready just in case, so I can just put any... See what I mean about my EM10? Everything in this box should be charged, but oops, the microphone. I need to go back to a mic that I don't have to put on and off all the time. So I go into the menu. What were we talking about? Oh, button, right? I think it's actually in the display menu. Metering. It's been a while. Hold on. I thought it was display menu. If it's not the button menu, it's got to be... multifunction. That just selects it. Display. Control, no. Yeah, it's in the display menu all the way down. So let me put it up for you. I got this new device I'm using today that's, let's see. 1 second. This button. No. Oh, come on. One of these will do it. Yeah, Control 7. There we go. No sound. Sorry about that. I didn't have sound. I was sitting there jibber jabbering about all this. But yeah, you go into D menu, scroll down to multifunction, like so, and then you can turn on and off those things. And that's it. Wow, look at that green screen. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And where was that? I have to go back up to... '70s in Orlando. And then Dave says I should move to Thailand. No. Whenever I think about Thailand, I think about that movie where the guy woke up and his kidney was gone. So I'm just not in. I know that's probably stupid, but I just freak out when I travel to other countries. Movies will mess you up. I've said that before. You know, like Jaws, I don't like to go in the water. I never want to be an astronaut, you know, after watching Alien. And Roberto says you bought the HDMI USB stick off Rob and wanting for it to do better screen captures. It works well, I thought. I'm not using it now because I'm testing out this new thing. But I've used it so many times on my live streams here. And no one's ever said anything about the quality, and I certainly can't tell. I mean, the color is a slightly bit off, and I have to adjust for it. It's a little bit too red for some reason. So I do adjust for that sometimes. But it's very, very subtle. Yeah, Dave, I do have a wireless mic. I just didn't set it up to... It works great too, actually. I should, but I just... This mic doesn't need any batteries, and you know, my streams go for hours and hours sometimes. Yeah, I have the Rode Wireless. I got like 3 or 4 or 5 different wireless microphone systems. You know, some that I reviewed because they sent them to me. Some that I bought, like the Harmonic Blink I bought, but the transmitter burned out. I should have sent it in for warranty, but I never did. It's probably too late now. But where you plug it in to charge the USB melted. So it's definitely a defect. Because those things are supposed to be auto, right? To auto shut off when it's done charging, and it didn't. So it's a fire hazard. And okay, so Peter, hopefully I answered that question. And Bob made his subtle appearance. Oh, Bob. Hey, Bob, how are you? All right. Okay, so I gotta get this. I hate that when that happens. You get that. It's like a powdered cereal that you pour into your coffee. Well, it's supposed to pour it into hot water, but... Okay, let me show you some other things going on if there's no questions. I got this new device that I'm going to review here soon. And hold on. I gotta plug everything in. So prepared. Let's see, this goes here. That's good as any. And I got a light. Oh, wait, this is not right. It'll be worth it, I think. Why is number 3 no input? 1, 2. I got 3 cameras set up. I should have 3 inputs. 1, 2, 3. Number 4. Huh. Odd. All right, let's try this. No, it's not the magic pyramid. No, this is something else. It's not the magic pyramid. It's awfully fun. How are you? Sorry for the static here. And then Arthur says, I have a box of filters from Black and White Twin Layer with about 40 filters. It was a gift from Alex Falk. It has all sorts of close-ups to prisms. Oh, cool. That is cool. No, not the Magic 8 Ball. I don't know if anybody's seen my Mystic Pyramid though. If you haven't seen it, just let me know in the comments and I'll talk about this briefly. I talked about it in my last stream, but you can check it out there, but it's kind of fun. Maybe I'll use it today. All right, so I got this device and yes, John, Rick is doing better. He's recovering from the initial surgery, but during that surgery, there was another complication with his eye. I forget exactly what happened, but so he's got to go back and get his eye fixed now. It doesn't seem related, but I guess it was somehow. You know, your veins go everywhere in your body, so he was fixing some veins in his chest, and then one of the veins in his eye got messed up during that procedure, so they're going to try and fix that. But he's doing fine and recovering. He's been in a couple of streams. You know, I saw him on Thursday in one of the streams, and he was in good spirits. All right, let me see if I can do this without messing this up. I'm going to go back to, what did I decide was the button? No. How come that button doesn't do anything anymore? This is a disaster. How come that doesn't do anything? How about this button? All right. Oh my God, what a terrible green screen. Let me turn that off. All right. Okay, so this is the wide view, right? The normal view without the chat section and the little footer I usually use. But I'm using this device now and I can switch cameras. And I'll show you that device here. It's this Live Pro 1, which I'm going to try and do a review on this coming week. And it has a screen here where I have 4 windows. And I can hook up to 4 cameras or 4 devices that output HDMI. And then I can switch between them just by pushing the one of the buttons here. So if I switch it, I can switch back to camera 2. And now we're back to me. And now we're back to this device. And then let me show you my whole studio here. Right? Oh, I gotta comb my hair. But anyhow, you can see my setup, right? I have the Fujifilm here capturing the, let me get this out of the way, capturing this thing. And then there's my EM1 Mark II recording me straight up, right? And then I have this touchscreen tablet, like drawing tablet here, and then I have my main monitor here, and then my laptop over here, right here. This is my new G14 that I picked up, which has been working out great. And then of course my headphones and my communicator. Have you guys seen this? I love my, you may have seen this in one of my tutorials. My little communicator. It's a Bluetooth. Actually, it's a Bluetooth microphone speaker, which is really cool. It's not charged up right now, but I got all kinds of toys. You know, for Christmas, right? You know, we, in our family, we always pick somebody, you know, we draw names from a hat, and then, you know, they always know to get me something Star Trek related. So that's that. Okay, so that's my new, this is my new setup, more or less. Oh, the fourth camera is this one. Wait, let me try that again. So the fourth camera is actually the back of the screen, like I just did the EM10 Mark II. I can switch to that one like so. So once I get my muscle memory built up, this is going to be awesome. I can switch between all these things really quickly, right? Mission control. Oh, hey David, how did the photo walk go yesterday in DC? I wanted to go, but I was so tired. I mean, it's ironic, right? I'm tired when I go in the mornings, but I've adjusted for that. And then you know, I was like, I need to get some rest before I go out because I wanted to go. And then once I laid down to take a nap, I couldn't get up. So embarrassed. I should have just went. I should have forced myself, because I know if once I get in the car and start driving, I'll be okay. But I just started just tired. Terrible. Yeah, Randy, the geeky setup is bad, right? Yeah, I love my communicator. And Peter's asking, I've already asked this question in your forum, but maybe I can get an answer here. How can I add photos to Instagram? Oh yeah, I did see your question this morning about the MacBook. I have a video on that. There's a couple of ways. Is one, did you buy one of those well, I don't know Mac that well, but apparently there's a way. I think you hit F12 or F11 or some key combination to go into a developer mode. So maybe somebody here with a Mac can explain it better than I can. But on Windows, you can click like developer mode or develop extra settings, and it brings up this window. I'll show you in Windows. I think I can do that. Let me try it real quick. Let me switch screens. Oh no, this is the right screen. Let me go to, it's not the right screen. Hold on. This is the right screen. So if I go to Instagram, right? Like so, I can hit F12 on my on my keyboard, which goes into this developer setting thing, and then I can I have a mobile option here, so I can select toggle device toolbar, so I can emulate a mobile device. So I click on this, and now I'm like in a mobile device mode, and then I hit my F5 or I refresh, and now I have an add button, so I can just click add, and then I can go into my Instagram folder and add any file like that, right? And then it's just like working on your phone. Not quite. There's a couple limitations, but that's how I do it with my Windows, and there's a very similar procedure in Mac. So I hope you could see that. I need to get my windows arranged right. Yeah, it looks like you can see that okay. Let me go back. Perfect. All right. So that's that. And then Dave is saying, is that a window AC unit? Oh yeah, it is. It is. I don't have it on, obviously. It's getting cold, but I never have it on during the streams because it's so loud. And I bought a new window AC unit for the main living area, and that thing keeps the whole house really cool. So I haven't really had to use that. I just have a ceiling fan in here now. So even in the hottest days, it that main unit I bought, it's like a 10,000 BTU, but it's enough to keep this room, the humidity low, and with a little bit of fan, I'm comfortable. I mean, what I used to do is turn that thing on before the stream started to cool the room off. But now, since getting that new unit, it's like $500, but worth every penny. Okay, good, Peter. Yeah, I know, because when I did the video for doing that, because the other way you can do it is you can buy one of those OTC adapters. I think it's called that, OTA adapter, that plugs into the port on your MacBook, like the USB port. I'm thinking of like a tablet, not like a laptop. Never mind. But if you have a tablet, like an iPad or something, I think you can do it. I know I can do it on my Android tablet. I can plug in an SD card from my tablet and do it. Oh, you're welcome, Jonas. Yeah, I made a whole video on that. Didn't get many views. But I thought it was pretty handy to be able to just upload directly from your computer into Instagram. And it's very easy, right? Yorkie Peter. Oh, okay, good. I'll look you up. Let me do that right now. Let me get to a regular page. Instagram. Oh, there you are. Cool. Oops, I need to show everybody, right? Let's see. There's Yorkie Peter. Oh, you got a moonshot here. Nice. Good job. And let's see. An old carriage of some kind. Cool. Oh, I like the colors here. All right, that's a really good start, Yorkie. Or Peter. I'm sorry, Peter. Good start to your Instagram account there. All right. On Mac with Safari, you need to develop on. Oh, there you go. Select you. Thank you, Arthur. Arthur, I guess Arthur has the exact steps there for you. There's no goat juice in my coffee. It's just basically coffee with some kind of hot drink cereal mix that you put in. It's not soup. It's cereal. It's hot cereal, which is different. It's not soup. Oh, cool. You know who does a lot of 60 macro stuff now is Rob Shoot Photos on Instagram. He has so many pictures now. He's been going crazy with his macro lens. Because he just bought one too. Let me show you guys. Here he is, Rob Shoots Photos. Look at all his pictures here with his 60 macro. EM5 Mark III with a 60 macro. I mean, so definitely check out his channel if you want some ideas on how to use that, or his Instagram. It's pretty cool. Yeah, a long way to go. But that's the beauty, right, of photography, Peter, is it's a journey, not a race, right? The marathon, not a race, whatever that phrase is. Irish coffee. God, I haven't had an Irish coffee since college. Man, it's been a long time. Yeah, you want to do some bugs? Yeah, Rob Shoot Photos he's got that bug photography down from what I can see on his page. Because whenever I go to my Instagram, he's like shooting every day, it seems like, because I see his posts all the time. Oh, that's being picked up by the mic, this stirring. Huh. And Music got the 60 macro refurbished, so that's like, I've seen that for like $2.99 refurbished, and then you got 20% off that, so that would be another 60 bucks. So that's like 240 bucks. Wow, that's a good deal. Wow, and Jeff goes all out, man. He uses the 60 macro with extension tube and an MC14. Wow. I guess that would work, right? You could use the teleconverters with the extension tubes because you don't have to worry about it poking the back of the lens. I was thinking I'll try Lightroom today, Captain. I'll ask maybe I'll just do it. I'll do Lightroom today. I didn't really look at the pictures that came in. I saw a few of the pictures that came in this morning before I started the stream. And I didn't really see anything that needed Lightroom. I could probably do everything in Workspace, but I might do Lightroom today because a lot of people have Lightroom, and you know, they try to extrapolate, I assume, what I do in Workspace to Lightroom, but it's nothing like actually using Lightroom, right? No, my extension tube pins haven't bent, Roberto, but I don't use them that much, just time to time. If you use them all the time, I could see that happening, but I bought the cheapest ones I could, which were like $17. What brand was it? Kenko or something? Really cheapo, all plastic, you know? Oh, okay, yeah, just send the original. Just send the original instead of a TIFF. I'll do Lightroom today. Because what I can do is I can open up in Workspace and everything that doesn't show up in Workspace or I can go to Lightroom first and select the raw images that are not Olympus, right? And then edit those and then go to Workspace. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You know how my streams are. They're just kind of all over the place, right? But send me the original raw image, definitely. Oh, Casper, awesome. You're shooting macro. I think, Casper, you got both the 60mm and then you've been shooting a lot with that 100 to 400 Olympus. Casper has a really good, or been posting a lot to my forum, some pictures from the new Olympus 100 to 400 lens. So if you want to see some actual user photos, you know, Casper is doing a great job posting to the forum. Yeah, Adobe Camera Raw. Is that something you can get separate? I mean, I know you can do the Adobe DNG converter, but Adobe Camera Raw has all the sliders that Lightroom does practically. It just doesn't have like the brushes and things, right? The layering and the gradation filters, but it has all the sliders that you would need, I think. What do you use after you fix it up with Adobe Camera Raw, or if you do anything in Adobe Camera Raw? I don't know. Maybe you just import it. Yeah, go ahead and send it in. I got an open schedule today, so we'll edit all the photos. And now I have a timer, so the photo editing's been going a lot quicker now that I limit myself to like 4 minutes per photo to edit. Oh, you're posting on Instagram. Okay. Let me find you on Instagram, Casper. . There you are. I assume that's you. Well, maybe not. Is this you? Because he said you're posting, but there's only 2 pictures there. This has got to be you. This is you. Okay. That makes sense. Oh, cool. Look at this moth. This is awesome. I like this one. This is the 60 macro. Wow. This looks like the 100 to 400. I think I saw this on my forum. Yeah. Look at that. These are awesome shots, Casper. You don't even need to go to my... Well, if you want to see full res images, go to the forum and you can look at them full res. But if you just want to kind of skim some shots from these lenses, Instagram is fine. That's cool. And Peter says, I've got some on Facebook in the macro group. Must upload some to Flickr. Yes. Yeah, I don't go to, personally, I don't go to Facebook much. I just check it once in a while because people sometimes message me there from, you know, one of the viewers, and I try to answer all the questions that come in. But that's really all I use it for, is time to time somebody will ask me a question through Facebook. I mean, I'm half tempted to just close my Facebook account because I just don't use it. It would be one less thing for me to keep track of. But then some people, they don't use Instagram or Twitter, or I don't use Twitter. Go back to the spider pictures. Oh, those are Rob shoot photos. I don't like spider pictures, you know that. Dave knows that. I mean, it's not that I don't like spider pictures. I'm not a big fan of spiders, like close-ups. I love spiders because they kill mosquitoes. So if I see a spider, I leave it alone. But if I don't want to look at close-up pictures of them. They creep me out. And then Arthur was saying something about, oh, so you go from Adobe Camera Raw to Photoshop. So you must have the older version of Photoshop that lets you, before you had to pay for things, right? Yeah, and then, yeah, I remember you said you have some presets that you like to use. And Arthur has a great Instagram feed as well, Arthur McPhee. He does about 90% black and white, but he actually inspired me to get more into black and white photography. You know, when I first started this channel 2-3 years ago, Arthur's been with me so long. So now if you look at my Instagram account, it's like you'll see a lot more black and whites lately than you will see color. And Marsha's got everything going on: Lightroom, Photoshop, Topaz, Luminar. Facebook is the evil overlord. Yeah. Will a 4K monitor help me edit? Will it show more colors? If you want colors only, you just need any good monitor, you know. But a decent 4K monitor that's not super overpriced, because they have monitors that are HDR10 compatible. So it's HDR10, and they are 10-bit FRC, I think it's called. If you see something called 10-bit FRC, it effectively gives you more colors than most monitors are 8-bit. And it doesn't do it in a actual way. It sort of uses some lenses to kind of trick your eyes into seeing more color. I don't know how it works. It's all beyond me. But it's supposed to basically, to the eye, represent more colors in full 10-bit color gamut, right? Or color space, or range of colors in 10-bit. So I think if you get any 10-bit monitor, and they're usually, I think, around $500 on the lower end, the LGs, which are awesome monitors, and then the higher ends are $1,000. So if you want to spend some good money on a monitor, BenQ is really well respected. I don't think you can go wrong if you buy a BenQ monitor. If you don't want to, like, if you get into the reviews and they're a little confusing, just go by brand, and BenQ is really good. On the lower end, I think the LGs are very good. And then people have told me they like the Samsung too, Samsung monitors. But when I was researching them, I went LG, and then from there I went to BenQ. Those are the two brands I would consider for myself after doing tons of research on it than never buying anything. Oh, and Joe, hey Joe, the real Joe is here. The other thing is, you brought up a good point, is make sure it's at least 100% sRGB and at least, 75 to 80% Adobe RGB in terms of being able to reproduce the colors. The manufacturers usually give you those specs. If they don't give you those specs, just assume it's not good. But if they brag about 100% sRGB and 80-90% Adobe RGB, those are very high-end monitors. So Asus has some creator series of monitors that are really good. They also claim something about being Pantone certified from the manufacturer. So if you see monitors that have those kinds of bragging rights, 100% sRGB or Pantone calibrated from the factory, those things will give you really good colors. And like I said, I think going HDR 10-bit, those monitors are usually brighter. So you want to get brighter monitors, 300 nits or brighter. So there's a lot of criteria. I mean, I do a video on it, but I didn't buy monitors, so I can't like speak in real life, right? Like in practice, I can only speak theoretically what I researched, I guess. Lynn KY. This is Linda from Greens. Oh, hey Linda, how are you? What time do your live stream sessions start and end Sunday? Do any cameras have Bluetooth in them? I still use hybrid bridge cameras. Yes, a lot of cameras do have Bluetooth now. To what extent they're really being used, or how much people really use the Bluetooth / Wi-Fi type features is another story. Like, I don't use them at all. I mean, extremely rare. The couple times I've tried, hasn't been a great experience. But I use Olympus. I did use it on a photo walk a couple weeks ago with David, and it worked great. It was slow. Like, I was just downloading pictures from the camera. It was slow, but it worked fine. Actually, it was pretty stable. But if you really want to get all techie about it, about the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth type stuff, I'm not really the person to ask, because I avoid apps on my phone if I can help it. I like to keep my phone and my camera separate, but I may be forced to start using Bluetooth. But if the camera has Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it'll tell you, the manufacturer will tell you on the box or wherever, it'll be obvious. They'll definitely state it. It's not something that you can assume a camera has, so you have to make sure it says it in the description that it does have Bluetooth capability. But most people I know don't use it because it just drains your battery. Because I think the Nikons have Bluetooth that will automatically back up your photos to your phone while you're taking pictures, but then my buddy who has the Nikon Z7 says it just drains his battery, so he doesn't do it anymore. But good to see you, Lynn. I'm glad you're here. And you can always email me, with any questions. Or call me. You got my number. Lynn is a local photographer here that I met at the photo club. Joe Morano. 4K monitors are so expensive. A better idea is a good 1080p with yes. Joe is making a very valid point. I was editing your boat picture and I realized I need a better monitor. Ah, I see. And Joe uploads his photos to Google Drive, then downloads and post to his mobile. Yeah, I used to do it that way, kind of a roundabout way, right? It's kind of a workaround from doing it through the PC by going to developer mode. It's just an extra step that gives you more flexibility, but then it's an extra step, right? And I think Joe, he or she, I think it was Peter, uses a Mac, so it's a MacBook Air. So I don't think, I don't know about Mac Photos. I know my sister uses Apple Photo Cloud stuff that she uploads all the time to. I assume it's the same idea. You have some kind of drive on Apple that you can upload to and then post to Instagram from that drive, I guess. Yeah, I've been leaving the door open for for my dog to go in and out. So if she sees anybody, she barks. But I'd rather give her a little freedom than tying her up in the house while I'm streaming. I mean, she's in the house, but she has access to the porch where she can see everything going on, which she loves. Got very strong hunter instincts. I saved a bird from her the other day. Some bird flew into my porch. I have a covered enclosed porch. And she, as I let her out, I saw the bird, and she saw it before I did and got to it. But it escaped and was flying around, so I put Ellie back in the house. I had to carry her. She would not go on command because her energy was already up there, level 10, right? So I put her back in the house, and and the bird was so tired or beaten up just from I'd say it was not even 15 seconds of interaction with my dog, being chased around and nipped at. I picked her up with a fly swatter. I was trying to shoo her away, but the bird wouldn't fly. So I picked it up with the fly swatter and carried it and put it outside on a ledge, in a place that my dog couldn't get to it. And it just sat there. And I was thinking, man, I should take a picture of it, because man, how often do you get that close to a bird, right? And then I said, no, I'll just leave it alone. It's been traumatized enough. I don't want to, start taking pictures of it too. So I let it go. And then I went out to run some errands, and when I came back, the bird had flown off, I assume. Oh, sure, Dave. You want GPS? God, why? I'm getting ready for that war with China. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Joe. I'm not a big Apple fan. I've talked about that a couple times in my streams. I mean, they're fine products, but I had an incident back in the 80s dealing with an Apple rep, and I decided from that day I'm never buying Apple. Any suggestions on the best way to catalog and organize your images? I have Lightroom and Olympus Workspace, but I need to figure out how to get started. I can tell you the way I do it. I'll just show you. Let me see if I can do this without giving hackers anything to mess with on my privacy side. My frickin' stuff has been hacked. I went to a hospital a few years ago, and that hospital's database got breached, and then now I have a problem. It's really stressing me. Ugh. Seriously, these hackers just need to take like 6 months off so we can get things done instead of having to deal with stuff like this all the time. But anyway, let me show you how I organize things. Where's my button? All right, so here's my PC, and then I have an external drive, D drive here, and I keep the current year's photos in a single folder. I call it LR Pics or Lightroom Pics because I use Lightroom to manage my photos. And then I have it organized by year, so it's 2020. And then I have each quarter for 2020, right? I don't know if you guys can even see this. Uh-oh. What? Oh, I changed the view here. And then you go, let's say we go in the third quarter, then in here I have it all sorted by date chronologically. And then you go into here, and then it's I may have a separate folder for videos like this. But yeah, that's how I organize it, is chronologically. And then once the year is over, and then I have these all backed up automatically to an external drive. This is my external drive here. No, I back up to this drive externally every day, right? Automatically, everything that's on the D drive. So I have a dual drive setup. And then once the year is over, I migrate everything to this drive. Let's see. And then you can see I have every year here, 2013, 14, 15. And like if we go into last year, 2019, you can say I have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, whatever, and then everything chronologically. And that makes it easy for me to keep things in order. And then once I'm in Lightroom, I add keywords, you know, to distinguish between work and photo walks and things like that. I use a keyword system. So it's not very organized once I get out of the folder structure and start using the software itself. But that's the only thing I know how to do. And then each year, I can usually put 2 years worth of stuff, like 2013, 14, onto a single drive, which I don't know where I put all my drives from previous years. I thought they were right here in this drawer. But I know this one is 2016. So I fit all of 2016 on a single external drive. So it's on this drive, but it's also on the drive on my laptop. On an external drive on my laptop over here. All right. Wow, so that was a long explanation there. It's 2020, I can forgive Apple. No, because they haven't changed. Go to an Apple store, they still stress me out. I won't even go in an Apple store anymore. It's a green screen. Joe, it's a green screen. From Doctor Who, actually, from a 1960s episode of Doctor Who with the Peter Pertwee, or yeah, I forget his name exactly. John Pertwee, I think is his name. And it's from the episode Hand of Fear with Eldrad. Eldrad Must Live. It's like one of my favorite episodes, so that's why I like this green screen. Neo, how are you? Yeah, you know, Dave, the app. I mean, I know I just talked about how I don't use apps and stuff, but apparently you can geotag your photos using the app in your phone from Olympus. Again, it's not something I do, but apparently there is a way to do it. Oh, good, Randy. I thought you knew how to do that already, but that's cool. I'll have to look for your Instagram account, but your website is really good, so I don't really need to look at your Instagram. Why would any hacker need to take down a hospital? That should be a no-go. Yeah. Well, they just want the personal information, because you tell the hospital everything, right? So they have all my medical records and all my... It's just a freaking nightmare. I need to chill. I'm getting stressed out thinking about what I have to go through to fix some of this crap. Like, you know, life just throws things at you. I mean, if that's the worst thing that ever happens to me, it's okay, right? I'll be all right. But still, life just throws things at you sometimes that are not your fault and just add stress for no reason. But if you want to live in the grid and the system, you know, you have to take all those compromises. I'd love to live off grid one day. Just out in the woods in a log cabin, have a wood stove, and you just call it, you know? Just retire like that. And oh, Dave is saying, how do I find specific picture in all those folders? It's hard, but I use the keywords. I use keywords in Lightroom. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's hard. And what I do is I put a flag next to. You can add a flag in Lightroom to certain pictures that from each folder, so that I can quickly go through where everything. It's hard to explain, but I can find pictures in a reasonable amount of time. Not fast enough for like a live stream where you guys will be bored to tears if I had to find a specific picture, but fast enough for like, gosh, where is that picture? You know, I'm looking for this one. I can find. I'll eventually find it without having to look at everything. But yeah. And AC/DC, man, there's some hardcore fans of that software, so lots of people recommend that. There was a viewer that used to come in to the chat room and always push AC/DC. It was like their favorite software, and it has some really good features in it, I know. And you can download a free trial and try it. At least you used to be able to. And then Joe says, have to say it's well done. What are you talking about, Joe? What is well done? One thing I did recently was a heaven benchmark test my G5, and it got a better score with turbo boost off. Well, you know, most likely, you know, the heaven benchmark is very graphic intensive, right? So when you have turbo boost on, give me a second. You have turbo boost on. That is interesting. The only thing I can think of is that Heaven Benchmark uses less CPU, so the CPU is not generating as much heat when you have turbo boost off. So there's less heat generated from the CPU, giving more cooling power to the GPU to run at higher clock rates. But I don't think that's why. Yeah. Marco's not a big Apple fan either. And John Pertwee, thank you. I'm just trying to catch up here. Do a Star Wars one next time. Oh, we must be talking about my green screen. Yeah, I'm a little leery of Star Wars. If I can find one that they release for that, like this green screen was released by Doctor Who's website with permission to use. So, you know, it's finding Star Wars stuff and other stuff is a little harder. Oh, Roberto's here. I use Luminar to organize as I relay in my folder structure and it goes with it. Then in Luminar I have albums for projects, portraits, no keywords. Yeah, I could never wrap my brain around doing collections and things. I'm fine with just using keywords, and none of my stuff is that important, really. because I don't do a variety of photography that I need to keep track of professionally. The only thing I do is real estate. So I make sure I put keywords in for real estate and the agent's name, the broker or the brokerage firm, in the keywords, and that's enough for me to find specific jobs. And I have all my jobs exported onto Google Drive by address. So if someone asks me, do you still have the pictures for that property? They give me the address. I can find it very quickly and just re-deliver those. But for my own personal stuff, sometimes I put keywords in for like location or type of picture, but usually I just put in location. Or if it's a street photo, landscape, that kind of thing, but not too often. Yeah, off-grid would be amazing, right? Yeah, I would so love to be off-grid. Just buy a container, right? A container house. Put a couple solar panels, like Joe's saying. Get a wood stove. And then Lola, Merry Christmas. You have some Santa Claus there. All we're hearing is new cases, panic, panic, but no deaths. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can't go too far off grid. I need internet, right? Oh, it's 10:40. What time am I? Yeah, I'm doing the other stream at 11? I forget. I think 11 a.m. The IBM 486 clone. That's right. They used to have those turbo buttons, right? Man, a long time ago. But that was for gaming, I think. Because some games just ran too fast unless you turn the turbo boost off. Are the bayonet mounts on Olympus cameras with weather sealing different than the non-weather sealed? Functionally, no, they're the same. I don't think that's a point of or that's not a weak spot in the camera generally, as far as weather sealing goes. I assume there's more weather sealing around it, but but functionally there's no difference. I think turbo makes me from 2.6 to 5, although it won't reach that due to heat. Yeah, I think that's the key, right? Is the heat management, and the G5 was supposed to be better at heat management, but in practice it was only a little better than the previous G5. And I have a G7 that I bought 2.5 years ago, roughly, that is excellent. But I decided to go with an Asus this year. Every 2 years I have to upgrade my laptops. I'm not super thrilled about my upgrade this year. I mean, I love the laptop. It's very small, lightweight, very powerful, and it's faster than my G7 that replaced it, but not significantly so. Not like when I upgraded to the G7 from my HP Omen. That was a big jump in just 2 years, mainly because of the GPU and the 2 extra cores. But the G14 has 2 extra cores and the latest generation GPU. I was expecting about a 30-40% boost across the board, and I'm not getting that. I'm getting 10-20% on some applications, and I'm getting nothing on others. You know, it's really disappointing. And Mark Wolf says his Apple products have been durable. Yeah, like I said, I don't think as a product, as far as product wise, it's a fine product. I have no problem with their products. It's with that rep. I don't know why he pissed me off. ever since then, back in the 80s, and then ever since then, and you'll see that in like surveys and things. People ask, why don't you shop? And they'll say, well, because the person there, you know, pissed me off, and they'll never buy from that company again. So I'm not alone on that respect. Yeah, I know, right, Joe? It's frustrating. You know, the G5 should be excellent, right? It's like full on AMD CPU, GPU, excellent. You know, and it's not a small laptop, relatively speaking, right? It's got room for excellent heat management and cooling, and yet when you start cranking that thing up, it just starts to throttle. I know what you're talking about. 18-minute warning, awesome. And the MSI Creator 15s are awesome. Again, they're pricey. They're like $3,000. And I think they have a laptop that has the new mini LED, which is like 1,000 nits brightness and super high contrast. And what I like about the MSI Creator series is they have UHS-2 and UHS-3 SD card slots. So you can download off very quickly, and it has a ton of ports for everything else, right, that you would need as a creator. Display ports, HDMI ports, USB-C 3.1, you know, Thunderbolt. It has everything port-wise, and then the latest and greatest, you know, well, now they got the 3000 series out, but the latest and greatest CPU from Intel and graphic cards, right? So you can get the 2080, you know, Ti, or you can get the 2080 Super. I haven't seen a 2080 Ti Creator series, but you can get the NVIDIA 2080 Super. You can get the 10750 CPU from Intel. And I think those are going to, you know, if you're into video, I think that's definitely an excellent laptop. If you're into photography only, you don't need to spend that kind of money. You can buy a 2 or 3 year old laptop and still get excellent performance for photography. You know, 4 cores is enough, really. There's very little use of GPU in any photo editing software. At least not in Lightroom or Photoshop. It doesn't use a lot of the GPU. Yeah, Joe, so you went, I'm sorry, Joe, I thought you got the G5 AMD. So that is definitely the problem. The Intel chips are hot. They run very hot. And when that thing starts to throttle, and it throttles fast, right? It gets hot really fast. It starts affecting, it has to start sharing the same CPU heat, or the same heat sinks with the GPU. And the RTX 2070 is really a good, you know, and you got the Max Q version. I don't know. Your brain gets mush when you try to figure out where all the bottlenecks are in your system. Trust me, I've been trying to figure out the bottleneck in my own laptop here, and it's very stressful. Yeah, the 3080 and 3090s are out. That's what I hear. So maybe next year I will buy a desktop system so I get the full power. You know, 200 watts in the video card, 120, 30 watts for the CPU, so I get full power and quieter. Because my 4K video workflow it's been a little rough on my laptop, and it's you know, it's the latest and greatest, you know, 8-core, you know, Ryzen CPU with 16 threads. It just has a 2060 Max Q GPU, but you know, 40 gig of RAM. I put a high-speed NVMe SSD in there. I don't know, and I'm a little disappointed. Fortunately, I didn't pay too much for it. Ah, no, not me. Has Olympus ever contacted you for promo reasons? Why aren't you a visionary? Not really. I mean, we talked about it. When I go to the photo events from the local camera store, when they have Olympus guys there, they all recognize me. And we did jibber jabber a little bit about it, but it's just a title, I guess. You don't it doesn't mean anything to me personally to have that title. I kind of like being a little more independent, right? So I can talk about any camera I want. If you're an Olympus visionary, you're kind of restricted to uh, only talking about Olympus cameras. You can talk about lenses and accessories all day long from any company, but the camera bodies themselves, you cannot talk about other camera systems or do comparisons between Olympus cameras and, say, Fuji or Sony or Nikon. And if you look at my channel, you'll see time to time I have comparisons between different camera systems. Like I just did a Canon RP comparison, right, with the EM5 Mark III. So not being a visionary or tied to any company gives you a little bit more flexibility. Oh, I don't know what an SA80 is, A2, Joe. And the Morgan has liquid cooling and it's overclocked. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I had a liquid cooled AMD 8350 from 2012. Okay, Peter, we'll see you later. JIP Visionary, nope. So much easier. Wow, let's not go down that road today, man. We got enough problems in life without talking about those two things. Dave says, stay as you are. The heck with restrictive visionary title. We like how you can trash anybody, including Olympus, if they deserved. My Omen 15 that Rob suggested is great, and I can't fault iPads. My One Air. On the top. Oh, okay. So your Apple's been durable. But yeah, the HP Omen 15 is an excellent laptop. It was on my short list between the HP Omen and the G14, but ultimately the G14 has faster ports. It has two USB-C 3.1 Gen 2 ports, which are 10 megabits each. And since, as you know, I hook up a lot of external drives to my computer, I need that high speed Gen 2 speed, and it does make a difference. I measured it. It's like double the speed. 5 megabits versus 10 meg, whatever it is. It's double. I was getting like 480 megabit speed on my external drives with Gen 1, and when I switched to Gen 2, I was getting double that consistently, read and write. Oh, SA80 is some kind of weapon. Okay. Yeah, I'm not into that whole life there. Anyone here used the new Voigtlander 60? No. They're beautiful lenses, and I'm sure they render beautifully, but they're heavy, so I'm avoiding them personally. Because they're all metal, right? But okay, I got 5 minutes to my next stream. I need to get ready for that. It's my photo editing live stream, and I'll be using Lightroom today instead of Workspace, which will be kind of tricky. I really like Workspace for the art filters and things. I'm really good at Workspace now. Lightroom, I'm not as proficient, as I am with Workspace, but we'll do that. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun seeing everyone. I'll be back on Tuesday morning, I hope, which is really early for you guys out on the West Coast here in the States, but for people on the East Coast or on the east side of the earth, right? Australia, UK and stuff, it should be okay. Boo, Lightroom. Sorry, Bob. But you guys have a good rest of your weekend.